The law of effect. As college students, we know the importance of studying. We have all been there. There's a test coming up, so we take the time to go over our notes, reread our chapters, and get as familiar with the subject as possible. And then we go in to take the test with confidence, knowing that we know all there is to know about the subject. And then we get our grade and see that all of that hard work really did pay off. So the next time a test comes along, we're more likely to sit down and put in that extra effort of studying, because we know if we do, we will be rewarded with another good grade. And this is a perfect example of Thorndike's law of effect. Edward Thorndike is known as the father of modern-day educational psychology. He belongs to the functionalism school of thought, but his work helped influence the development of the behavioralism school of thought. He believed that animals and humans learned in the same way, so he mostly used animals when studying learning and behavior. And one of his most famous experiments was the puzzle box. In this experiment, he placed cats inside a closed box and placed a dish of food outside of the box. Inside the box was a lever that would open the door. At first, the cats would push the lever by accident and were able to get to the reward, but soon realized that this action would result in a reward. Each time he performed this experiment, he found that the cats became much faster at pushing the lever and opening the door because they knew there was something they wanted on the other side of it. And this is how he came up with the law of effect. He said there are two aspects to the law of effect. The more rewarding a behavior is, like studying for a test and getting an A, the more likely you are to continue that behavior. And the more unpleasant a behavior is, like running a red light and getting a ticket, the less likely you are to continue that behavior. But then later, Thorndike changed half of his law of effect. He did stick with the idea that the more pleasant a reward is, the more likely you are to repeat that behavior. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if the behavior is unpleasant, you are less likely to do it, which makes sense if you think about it. I mean, a really good example of this would be if you're learning to ride a skateboard and you fall over and over and over again, and this feels like a punishment, but it doesn't mean you're going to stop riding the skateboard. Instead, you keep practicing, and then you get better at it, and then you have more fun, and then you're more likely to keep doing it. So, in other words, to quote the textbook, reinforcement is effective in modifying behavior, but punishment is not. And that is Edward Thorndike's law of effect.